get the cake right to the side sex. Leave the fire and the roof stars stuck on the grind like we're chasing the stars. From Millmore to Do Valley, we've come so far. Talk about legends, yeah, we know the score. Ronnie and Bobby, we remember you more. From the highs of the Wembley fight to losing our trousers, still we ignite. Red and white with the pride, we're never gonna bow. Fighting like middlemen, hear the roar now. We're middlemen, we stand up tall. Through ups and downs, we give it all. From Millmore to Do Valley.
Good afternoon and welcome to Terrace Talk, and we're going to be talking about Rotherham United 1, Reading 1. Was you at the game? I mean, it's a nothing game, isn't it? I've seen, obviously, even on Twitter today, very quiet with Rotherham fans. I think a lot of people totally disconnected with the football club and with what's happened this season. Danny says, Bushy, yeah, Danny, mate, hope you're well. Did you go to the game today? And what were your thoughts on the game? Let's end with a win. We couldn't manage that, unfortunately. We just don't have the kahunas to go and win games. So, yeah, very disappointed we didn't win the final game. I thought we would win today, but it just didn't happen. So, very disappointing end to the season, really, and what has been an horrific season. York City have been promoted, so we will play York City next season. So, I mean, this is where we're at now. The board are complicit for leaving Big Boy in charge for so long that now we're going to have a forced rivalry with York City. That's how far we've fallen. Danny stayed at home. Has got back Monday from holiday this morning. Had the pleasure of listening to our Les Payne for 90 minutes. Yeah, so, I mean, this needs to be addressed next season because I've paid to watch or listen to as well. Obviously, you have to watch the game, but this guy is an absolute buffoon. He knows nothing about football. He was telling people in the stream that even when we got promoted, he didn't cheer because he was working for the Green and he had to remain professional. I mean, come on. If you're a Rotherham United fan, you ain't remaining professional. You're jumping all over if you've just won promotion. So, come on. Even the top presenters at Sky Sports, you know, lose it from time to time. So, I'm just not having that at all. I'm not having it at all. It's just so it's so poor. All he was mentioning was his book, his own book, trying to publicise his book. When he talked about the Legends game, which are in the right-hand top corner, so if you want to purchase tickets, you can purchase them there. He didn't even mention it. They actually didn't know who the referee was. One of them says, I think it's Howard Webb. I mean, come on, you're employed by the football club. Apparently, I think we all know it's not. The club have done very little. Kev Johnson's done the majority of the stuff for the charity game, but not to know, like, officially, and not to even really promote it. You know, no QR codes, nothing. You know, they've got all the equipment at the iPlayer and the finances because, you know, people are paying for these streams, you know, and the money goes to the club. And to be honest, the commentating is horrendous. And yeah, I just think it's absolute pathetic. What did you make of it, Danny? I mean, I have to turn the sound off. I'm not going to lie. I have to turn the sound off because it is terrible. I just don't get it. I just don't get how we are run as a football club. That is our iPlayer. The other chap, I believe, is a Barnsley fan, and he's not much better, is he? So, yeah, it's kind of frustrating. But we all know how the football club has been run. Which brings me on to, obviously, the investors was at the stadium today. Obviously, people have been posting pictures of them. I've got a couple of names that potentially they are. And if it is the names that I have been sent, then I wouldn't get too excited. The only thing that I'll be worried getting taken over is the local kebab shop, because I just don't think they've got the finances to do it. They're definitely not going to buy the club. It is, and I told people this: Tony Stewart's going nowhere. He's holding on to that football club for dear life, and he's been allowed to do it because fans will not go against him. Fans will not do any sort of protest. We've had this season, and it's just been accepted by some fans. In fact, the fans that have called it out have been the ones getting abuse. I've received loads of abuse for calling out the football club, Tony Stewart, Paul Douglas, and everybody else that have been complicit in this. I mean, I've seen today Rob Staten, he's on Radio Sheffield lauding Paul Warren. Yeah, I mean, he's done well. He's got the biggest budget in the league. I mean, people talk about budgets. He's got a championship budget in League Two. So if he didn't get him promoted, I'd be ultra shocked. He also mentioned Derby's promotion as well, where again they had the highest budget in that league to get him promoted. But he didn't mention his failure. And the fans hated him at Derby, and then he got sacked because he nearly got them relegated again. So yeah, I mean, and I'm not a Paul Warren hater. I think he did a fantastic job here, but let's put some context into it. Let's do some proper journalism rather than just chat nonsense because you like the bloke. And that's what we had for half a season with Matt Amshaw. We were told he was a great coach. We were told he was going to bring the Rotherham way back. He was going to do this. He was going to do this. Absolute, utter nonsense, to be honest with you. Honestly, think Lee do a good job next season. Once these players are gone, get some players in with some decent mentality and willing to work as a team. Get a new fitness coach in too. Yeah, I think Russ Burberry will be gone at the end of the season. I think that is one of the things that will definitely happen for me. I can't see how he can keep his job after performing the way he's performed. I just can't see him doing that. So, yeah, I agree with you on that one, Danny. Scott Kent actually thought we played well today. Daft starts the second half, but Reading offered nothing. Yeah, I agree with you, Scott Kent. I think today we was better again. I'm going to go through my player ratings as well after. But, yeah, obviously, I think it has improved since Lee Clark has come in. I think he's playing with young kids as well a lot of the time because some of the senior pros have decided that they don't want to play anymore. And yeah, I just think he is going to be the man to take us back to League One. And I see people now already saying, "Oh, we just need to stabilise next season." Well, we're meant to stabilise in League One, you muppets. Yeah. We should be challenging for the title next season, and if we're not, heads need to roll again. We go back to basics. We're not going to accept this shit standard that we've accepted for season upon season, and this is why we're in the mess, because of people accepting the shit that they've accepted for month after month after month because he was from Rotherham, and I'm so happy Dave Artell's come out and said. He doesn't kind of want the job. I mean, he's deluded to think he's going to get a top-end League One club or a Championship club. He's way out of his depth. Utter snake as well from players I've spoken to that have played with him. So, yeah, I keep him away from the football club. He can stay in Fishtown, Grimsby for me. I don't want us to go anywhere near that muppet, to be honest with you. And I just don't want this. Oh, he's played for Rotherham. He's a Rotherham fan. He's a Rotherham lad. Forget it. Just get the best in class. For me, I think Lee Clark deserves the chance. I think he's improved things. He's steadied the ship since he's come in without being brilliant. But as the Matt Amshaw lovers would say, it's not his team, not his players. It's been inherited a shit show from Big Boy. So all this relegation is on Big Boy. Ian Besley, I hope that Lee Clark gets a realistic budget and backing off the board. Yeah, so obviously news coming out of the club recently was that there was going to be another cut in the budget, which if that is the case, and we're not going to be going for it next season, then I dread to think what the season ticket sales will be, because I just think it's an absolute liberty that we are in this mess, and we're not going to spend, and we're going to reduce the budget further to a budget that obviously didn't work out for us this season. I blame that mainly on Matt Amshaw, but still, the board do have to take some fundamental steps to stop this happening again. And I think the budget needs to be one of them. We need to next season make a marker like MK Dons did, statement signings for that level that have been there, done it, and will get us promoted and ready for the next level. Because we want to do back-to-backs again. We don't want to be, we're top-end League One club, and that's where we need to remain. Danny says, be interesting to see season ticket prices next season too. Yeah, I've heard they're staying the same, which again, value for money, our chairman talks about. Well, I don't think Championship prices is warranting League Two football. So I don't know. It's going to be a hard sell next season unless we actually show some ambition in the transfer market, because I think people have had enough. I mean, even from the stream today, the viewers have dropped. The talk on Twitter, nobody seems bothered. I think everybody's just stacked it off. And I feel like at times that's where we're all at. I think we've all had enough. We've watched enough crap. And that's it. Kevin Williamson says, not being today on holiday, who you got man of the match? So I'm going to go into my player ratings, actually. So you will find out who I've got man of the match. So let me just go into it. So we'll start with the back line. So obviously we had Khan, Rafferty, Jules, Baptiste, and I can never pronounce his name. So these are my player ratings for the back line. I've gone 6 with Khan. Didn't really have much to do in the game. Obviously Rafferty 5, Jules, I think I may be a bit harsh on 5, but I mean, we've conceded another goal where they've not had to try to score the goal again. Every week we're just so terrible at the back. We gift them goals. We work a brilliant goal. They're just gifted it. Baptiste 6. I thought he did sort of better towards the end of the second half. And obviously this lad I cannot pronounce, and I ain't going to try to pronounce it. 5. Do you agree with these ratings? I don't think anybody really stood out in the back line for me. So yeah, I haven't give very high scores. I agree. Certain Rotherham supporters saying we should appoint players like Hurst, Artel, Boyer doesn't work out apart from Ronnie Moore, Warner. If Clark doesn't want it, what about Ian Nolan? So yeah, Neil, Ian Nolan, good shout. He's done okay. But I just want the best man for the job. Whoever interviews best, whoever. For me, I think Lee Clark does want the job. I think what he did last week for me was the turning point for me of where I think we should be going with it. So I honestly think that Lee Clark wants the job. And I think with his CV, he's managed in the Championship, he's managed in League One, sort of top ends of them as well. So for me, I would stick with Lee Clark. I think he wants to be here, and that makes a big difference when they do want to be here. But it's a good shout from Neil. Sort of Ian Nolan is a good shout. Neil Warnock played for Rotherham as well. He did, but I don't. Yeah. I don't think we'll be getting Neil Warnock in League Two, to be honest with you. Yearwood man of the match, I'd imagine close with Gore. So obviously we'll go on to that now. So we'll go into the midfield, And I've gone with Dan Gore as my man of the match, but it was closely followed by Yearwood. I put Yearwood as a 7. I think Yearwood, it's just injury concerns with Yearwood. I would offer him a contract 100% if we could guarantee that he was going to get out on the grass. He spent a lot of the season injured and stuff like that. So I don't know. That's the only thing with Drew Yearwood. I think I rated him even when he wasn't being played by Matt Hamshaw. Matt Hamshaw signed him but never played him. Make sense if you can. Seemed to not like him. But for me, Dan Gore got the assist. And God, we're lucky that he's been the only ray of sunshine to come out of this horrendous season for me. The fact that we can say Dan Gore has played for Rotherham United. So, yeah, I totally agree. A good one here, actually. The only player I want is Chris Wilder. Well, obviously, he's Sheffield United manager, and I do believe he should be sacked from Sheffield United. I think he's done an horrific job at Sheffield United. And I would take him at Rotherham, though. I think his level is sort of League One, where I know he's got promoted from the Championship, but I think he's done an horrific job this season for Sheffield United, and I upset the Sheffield United fans by saying I think he should be sacked. What do you think, Sam? Do you think he's done a good job for Sheffield United this season? Personally, I think he's done an horrific job, and he should be sacked. Yeah, them two qualities say a strong spine is what we've missed all season due to injuries. Yeah, totally agree with you, Danny. And like I said, Hall, we haven't seen enough of him this season. Again, Les Payne trying to sell him on to a championship. Hall's good enough to play in the Championship, and he's not going to play for us in League Two. Shut up, you absolute lemonhead. Yeah? What scouts seen Hall play this season? You know what I mean? So I heard that Leicester were looking at him, and they're not in the Championship either. They're going to be in League One. Les Payne trying to, him, Paul Davis, enjoy him while you can. Well, we're really enjoying Martha and some of them because they're horrific. I thought Jack Holmes again, no real end product, but at least he has a go. Would you take Jack Holmes in League Two? Not for me, but it depends what sort of budget we've got. We might have no choice in taking players like Jack Holmes next season, to be honest with you, because it's not looking good. Sheffield United was rock bottom when he went back, and the core of the squad was sold. Who was sold at Sheffield United? He signed Calvin Phillips. He signed what's the guy? Patrick Bamford. He had some good money to spend and kept all his best players, to my knowledge. I know they were struggling when he came, but they were only one way. They were never going to finish down there. They've probably got the best squad in that league, and they still can't get above halfway in the Championship. Terrible season for me. He did better than the other guy, but God, he got sacked for a reason. And I still thought when Wilder took over, Sheffield United would at least get a playoff spot, and they haven't done that. They've nowhere, not even looked like doing that. So for me, I think he's had a bad season at Sheffield United. But like I said, we're Rotherham of League Two. I would take Chris Wilder in League Two, but it's just never going to happen. So for me, I'm going to stick with Lee Clark, and I'm going to say he's going to be the man that brings us back to League One. That is my personal opinion. What's yours? Do you agree with that, or do you think you want somebody else that's going to come in and do something similar? Jack Holmes is a decent player. I don't understand why he got the hate. I don't think people hate Jack Holmes. I think it's just frustrating of how far we've fallen. I mean, we're used to seeing wingers like Ben Pringle, or Bene, midfielders like Rathbone, Bartlasser. Now we've got Jack Holmes. The drop off is ridiculous, but you can't blame Jack Holmes. You know, I mean, he was a parcel delivery driver couple of seasons ago. So the step up was always going to be hard for him. And what you can't fault with Jack Holmes and what you can't label at him this season is that he doesn't try. Because he does try. The ability might be lacking, but he gives everything he's got. And I respect that from Jack Holmes. You've got to respect that because, it's just not happening. Vinny Souza and Winnie Souza and Eno both got sold. Yeah, but look at their squad. They got unbelievable players in that squad. And you said they were sold, but he replaced it with Calvin Phillips, who were one of England's best players at the Euros. So, yeah, I'm not buying that, to be honest with you. But, yeah, that's your opinion. You're more than welcome to it. Bushy, do you agree it is the older player who's let us down this season? For me, the majority of the younger players put a shift in. The experienced pros have let us down. That's a really good point, to be fair. I'm going to leave that up there, actually, for a minute. I do and I don't. So, for me, I think Jordan Hugill put his body on the line numerous times and virtually sort of could have threatened his own career by playing with broken bones and whatnot, what he did do to get out because we had no fit players. So I think he put the effort in, but I think you're right with the rest of them. I think your Rafferty's, your James, your Jules, Dawson. Dawson, God, forgot about how bad he was. Dawson, players like that. Even, Sam Nombe's got 13 goals this season. And that is a decent return to say he hasn't played much of the game, much of the games. I know he has missed a couple recently, but he's still scored 13 goals in a team that doesn't create chances. So Sam Nombe, I know he's been aimed at that he has not put the point in, but the rest of them, well, I agree with you. Yeah, I do think the senior players have let us down. Your Kellys, God, terrible. Players like that have really let us down. Even the lone players that come in, Holmes from Luton and stuff like that, experienced players making ridiculous sort of mistakes, which led to Douglas getting a chance, and he never let us down. So yeah, I think you bob on. The young players are the only ones that deserve any credit. Your Dangors, your Douglas, Holmes, that have tried. But yeah, I think as a collective, the recruitment was poor. Your Martha, he's not designed. He's got all the ability in the world, but he's not really designed for League One football. I believe I've got Tom with us now. Come in. Just bear with me a second. Tom, how you doing, mate?
All right, Bushy. You okay? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate. Thoughts on the game?
Dead rubber, wasn't it? Dead rubber for both teams. If Reading are on the beach, we're on the piss. It's one of them, isn't it? First and foremost, good goal. Good goal by Sam Nombe.
Good finish by Sam Nombe. I know he's been in for criticism, but for me, 13 goals return from a team with the lowest XG in the league creates very little. I don't think that's a bad return because he hasn't played every game of the season, has he? I'll have it.
He hasn't, Lee, but a few of them will be penalties. But you know what? You still got to score them. That's the last time we'll see him in Rotherham, I'm assuming.
Well, he's still under contract, so
he is, and they've got a really interesting decision to make next season regards Nombe. Do you pin it on him and say, right, you're getting us out of League Two, mate? Upwards, obviously.
My personal opinion is, Tom, for what we're going to get, if we're only going to get if we get us money back, 1.2 million, I sell it. But if we do not get the money back, anything below £1 million, I'm saying we keep him like we did Ogbenny that season and then risk losing him for free the season after, because his goals will get us promoted. There's no doubt about it. In League Two, he will be the top scorer easily.
Yeah, so that's the decision they've got to make, innit? Right
Yeah,
now.
and that would be my decision. You either pay the asking price, which is 1.2 million, or £1 million at the very minimum. You don't pay it, we force him to stay. That's it. He stays.
Exactly.
And he plays the season, and you said to Sam Nombe, look, we'll offer you a new deal on better money if you fire us up, and then you'll go with our blessing. But you can the other caveat to that is obviously he could sulk, and then you've got a problem, haven't you? If you stop him going. From what I was told, he's already gone to Peterborough, so I don't know. That was the information I got. It was already, the deal was actually done in January, but Tony Stewart didn't get the paperwork fully signed off, and obviously the deal then obviously couldn't be finalised till this season. So I believe there's a deal in principle. Whether we go back on that, I do not know. But if it's within the £1 million, which I believe it is, then he'll probably go.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, here's one as well, right? So, yes, we could say, yeah, sorry, Sam, mate, you're staying, end of story. But then the mentality of the players this season is, most of them is, oh, I've got a sore toe or my back hurts or something, and they can just sit out. And end of the day, players hold all the power, don't they, if they want.
So quickly, Tom,
yeah.
Sam Nombe has scored 13 goals this season. Only 3 have been penalties.
Right, so he scored 10 from open play.
Yeah.
Which is not bad.
Which is bad when we've finished the way we've finished. We've actually got the lowest expected goals in the league, but he's 9th in the league for expected goals for him.
Right. Okay. I mean, look, it depends. The recruitment process. And I'm kind of glad that this is all coming to an end now, because it's been an absolute disaster. I was watching that today, and at the end, I had a bit of a tear in my eye because I seen Lee Clark had to get the players over to come and clap the fans. Do you know what I mean? He had to force them across. Lee Clark will be the manager next season. There's no two ways about it. Lee Clark would have just walked off the pitch if he wasn't going to be like, oh, well, see you later. What I don't like, though, and I never like this in football, I don't know if you're with me, Bushy, is when the players start hugging each other at the end of games. I hate that. Hate it. You're there to play football, for God's sake, not hug and kiss. But look, I get it.
What have they been hugging themselves today?
Well, they're hugging the opposition and like, oh, well, where are you going on your summer holiday? Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't sit well with me, man. Standards, innit? I'm sounding like Roy Keane, but I mean, it's just standards.
Yeah, but the standards have been in the bin, and that has been the problem this season. So how many games do you think Sam Nombe started this season?
Started 45 games played, if we include cups. 24.
Yeah, started 24 games.
Whoa, did I get that right?
Yeah, 13 goals from 24 games. It is a good return.
It's not bad at all, actually, is it?
For a team that's been relegated.
Yeah.
We're not talking about a promotion team here. We're talking about a team with the lowest XG in the league and has been relegated. Let me just go through a few comments. Danny, I agree. I was expecting a lot more leadership qualities out of Rafter and James, especially Hugo gave it everything. Good point about Hugo. That's my thoughts on Hugo. That was the first shot on target for Sam Nombe in a while. Bushy, next season, a lot of clubs, especially in League 1 and 2, will have their blues slapped. For me, Lee Clark should get the job. Yeah,
he will get the job. He will get the job.
Get the job for me. Yeah, everyone shook hands when he scored. Kind of embarrassing. So he's sentimenting what you're saying, shaking hands. I mean, he must have done that when he scored then.
Look, end of the day, you're there to win a game. And like, people have paid to go and watch that today, right? Yes, the sun's out, blah, whatever, right? But do you know what? When I go and watch my team, I don't want them cozying up to the other team and all having a hug and a. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. It just doesn't sit right with me. Maybe I'm just way from a different generation, mate, where it's you're there to play football, do your job, right? Once you've done your job, don't start congratulating the other team for doing their job. It's just woke.
Woke nonsense, yeah. I honestly think Lee is ready to go to work and dig in and work to get this club where it should be. He's honest and transparent, no bullshit media answers. Get him some players, and I think we'll get back to where we should be, up the Millers. And that's a great point from Danny. And I agree with him. I like how he speaks in the media. I like that he's quite honest in his interviews. There's no bullshit. It's just honest thing. He calls players out when they need to be called out, which is good. He says it's not good enough when it isn't good enough. He doesn't make it. I've not once heard him really say, blame the injuries for losing. And that's what we got every week with Matt Hamshaw.
Every single week.
I've got this out. And he's had the same sort of injuries. But he then put it on the players, said they're not model professionals. And I rate that. And I think he is the man. And I think he'll have the contacts as well, because he's managed at championship level. He's managed at League One level. He's had a good playing career. I think I think you need that sort of manager that is, people do know him. People who will have heard of Lee Clark. Whereas, anybody outside of Mansfield and Rotherham have never heard of Matt Hamshaw. Even half the Sheffield Wednesday fans never heard of him, and he played for him. Do you know what I mean? So I think Lee Clark is the type of man you need in League Two that will possibly get players to sign for you that should really be in League One. And I think he could do that. Sam Nombe shook every Rotherham's player's hand when he scored. The referee was one of the most embarrassing things. I've ever seen in my whole life. Okay, Charlie, what did the ref do?
What from what I picked up the ref, I thought he was a bit card happy, and also he didn't let play continue in obvious positions after a foul.
Yeah, I didn't think he was too bad, the ref. We'll get on to that as well, but I didn't think he was too bad. But they were queuing up to shake Nombe's hand straight after he scored. Yeah, and I think that's the mentality of the players against the sort of, because he has been getting stick. People have saying he's not trying, he's not doing this. So it's obviously their way of saying, Sodja, he's just scored. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. 5 Lee Clark. 5 Lee Clark.
Fire Lee Clark.
Fire Lee Clark, a 12-month rolling contract with an option to push it to 3 if we have a good first half to the season. That's a good call from Ian. Yeah, no, I think that's a fair assessment. I'm just going through my player ratings here, Tom. So I'll just bring the first lot back, and then I can just run them through you, see if you were on agreement with me. So the first lot, obviously, I give Can 6, Rafferty a 5, Jules a 5, Baptiste a 6, and the bloke I can't pronounce a 5. Are you in agreement with them, or do you think that too low?
I think Adebayo had a good game. I do. I would put him probably on a 6 with Baptiste. Yeah. I think Ted Cam made a fantastic.
His head at the ball.
Yeah, it was a fantastic cross by Cohen Lee, I might add. They're the sort of balls you want into the box. Ted Cam made a fantastic save in the first half, point blank, effectively.
That's why I give him the 6. I think it's a fan. Any team that concedes, I think unless they've played really, really well, they're going to be standard 6s or 5s.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. This is why I never give a 10 for anything. Like we had that show. I think it was my second show in when I joined this wonderful podcast where Bez was having to go at me about not giving Tom Holmes a 10. And I went, well, look, yeah, he kept a clean sheet, but he didn't score a hat trick and assist 3 other goals. You know what I mean? He just kept a clean sheet. I don't give 10s, 9s, rare, 8. You've got to do something pretty good. 7 is usually where I go to say, yep, had a great game. But now I'd give Adebayo a 6. I mean, them two there can get lost the rest of the time. Rafferty and what do you call him? Jules could go. I'll keep Can as the second goalkeeper next season. Adebayo, I like him. I think he'll do well for us next season if he remains fit. Obviously, Bez is with you. I can stay on for another 5 minutes, Lee.
Yeah. Bez, how you doing, mate? You've been at the game. Thoughts on the game?
Yeah, just nothing really happening game. It was a bit of a typical end of season game for me. I mean, their fans are booing all the way through, really. They're not a big fan of Richardson at all, which I don't understand why. Just Rotherham did okay. I felt they probably deserved the win just. I think they were a little bit better than Reading. I thought the referee was horrendous. Like, someone said in pub before game that was a Premier League referee. And I tell you what, that's the worst referee I've ever seen.
Put in the comments that it was the worst. I'll put the comments back up. The referee one is one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen in my whole life.
It's easy for me to say that's the worst referee I've ever seen because I'll say that a lot, throughout your career. But that honestly was one of the worst referees I've ever seen. Like, there were no in the front game. So, he booked 2 Rotherham players in the first 20 minutes for hardly any foul. It was horrendous. But performance-wise, it was okay. If I go through the side quickly, I actually thought Adebayo did okay today. I thought Dangor were good. I thought the young lad, when he came on, Cohen Lee, I thought did all right when he came on. I thought James Clark struggled when he came on. Not a lot to say, really. Just end the game, normal game. Rotherham, I felt deserved to win it, but they got the draw, and that was it, really. What were your thoughts, Lee?
Who was your man of the match, Bez? So,
man at match.
The stadium announcement give it to Sam Nombe.
It's because he scored.
I'm giving it to Dangor.
I'm going to give it to. I'm going to give it to Adebayo. I thought Adebayo did really well today, so I'm going to give him Adebayo.
Yeah, well, he only got a 6 from me, so I just thought it was okay.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was brilliant.
I think his case
was good first half.
Yeah, I think the reason I've given him man of the match is because I think we all of us as a group think he's not the best player. And when he has half a decent game, he probably looks better than what we think it is. So that's why I've given it him. I didn't want to give Dangor again because Dangor gets it every game. So I just thought I'd give Adebayo. As I said, I thought Rotherham did okay, personally. And I felt they just deserved the win. But obviously, a lack of concentration after half time, and that's cost him. What were your thoughts on game, Lee?
I just thought it was a end of season game. Nothing, nobody really, won it. I thought we were the better team. I thought we played okay. I personally think if we'd have got Lee Clark in January, we would have stayed up. I honestly believe that. I believe he's brought a more. We kind of look like a football team again. Not a great one, but we actually resemble a football team. Under Matt Hamshaw, I couldn't tell you what we were trying to do at all. With Lee Clark, I can see what we are trying to do. I can see what he's probably playing players that he don't want to play, that he's got to play at the minute as well. He's playing a lot of young kids in there that are giving their all, but they're lacking in quality. And I think he's doing the best he can do currently with what he's got available to him, and I think he will be the man to bring us back from.
Okay.
I'm convinced. I want him as manager. I'm going to put my neck on the line and say I want him next season. I like how he speaks. I like how he's brought a stability and a calmness to the team. And yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
I fully agree. I mean, I said it in podcast, really. I have to say, like, I'm not saying Rotherham have gradually improved every game he's been in charge of, because I felt like today were probably not as good as it were maybe against Leyton Orient, for example. But I can, like you said, Lee, I think you can see what he's trying to do. I fully agree. And he has got the players working a bit harder. And look, that sounds like a rubbish comment, because players should work hard regardless of manager. But under Hampshire, they weren't working hard, and now they are working hard. One player I did actually want to highlight, I thought were really good, were Drew Yearwood. I thought Yearwood were excellent today.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I put Yearwood as a 7. He was my runner-up with Sam Nombe for man of the match.
If you'd stopped on all game, yeah.
But that's the problem. I would. Somebody were asking me in the comments earlier, would I take him permanently next season in League Two? And I'm saying it depends on his fitness. I mean, he failed the fitness test when we signed him. He hasn't been fit for the majority of the season, on and off. I mean, at the first of the season, I'm sure didn't even play him. It had nothing to do with his fitness. He just didn't play him. I think whenever I've seen him play, I think he's been good. I think he was good. He played good for Hampshire, but Hampshire just didn't rate him.
Yeah.
But I like him. I would keep it. He'd be a player that I would like to keep if we can guarantee his fitness. That's the only issue. I think before we give him a contract, he needs a medical and find out what is the reason behind this injury and why he failed it last time. We can't get next season. We'll sign him, but he's got a bit of a record. It's like Benson. Ability-wise, you're taking Benson all day in League Two, but there's no way I'd keep Benson, because he's built out of chocolate, and as soon as the summer comes, he'll melt.
Well, look. I mean, we'll go through each player in more detail about whether we should keep him or not. But I would have to keep both Benson and Yearwood next season. Now, I don't know. The rumours are that I think they've got an option, for us to sign him on again. I think Yearwood's got one. I'm not sure about Benson. But what I would say is you'll find that if your team is winning, you're all of a sudden fit to play every game. And I think that Rotherham next season, I think they will win more than they lose. And because of that, I think you'll find that Benson and Yearwood are fitter for these games, purely because Rotherham are winning. I really do think that. So I would give them 2 contracts. That's my view.
Fair enough. And then, obviously, last up is, I give the referee a 5, so I didn't think he was that bad.
He was. But you got to believe, right? This is a game where no team actually cares about their result. No team cared if they lose or whatever, because there's no to play for. So the referee had an easy job, and I just thought he got everything wrong. I really did. The reason you're right, sat there thinking, what's Bez on about? Because, it was a 1-1 draw. He didn't really get any big decisions wrong, which he didn't. But some of the little ones, they were horrendous. Absolutely horrendous for me. What's Bez on about? Because, it was a 1-1 draw. Yeah, I couldn't hear you then, because has Adam come on, has he? Yeah.
Yeah, Adam's come on as well. He's also been at the game.
I'll let Adam talk, because our phone's about to die, Lee, so I'll let Adam talk and I'll get off. All right, mate?
Yeah, no worries, mate.
Cheers, lads. See you later.
Better. Oh, hang on. Adam's there. Yeah, Adam, you've been at the game. Talk to me about the game.
Well, obviously, they were on the beach. They were celebrating their holidays. For us, I agree with what Bez was saying. I think Yearwood, 100%, give him a new deal. You can see he's got it. When he's fit, Yearwood has got it. I'd keep him centre mid. Cohen Lee at centre mid next season. There's not going to be 2 better midfielders in League Two. Obviously, I agree with you, Lee. I think Dango, head and shoulders again above the rest. The sum of his touches, there were one time, there were 3 midfielders around him. He just did a little trick, bang, bang, boom. And his ball to Nombe for first goal were fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Sometimes I don't know where these sponsors, what they're doing upstairs. Are they drinking too much? Because last week it were Tom Holmes, for me, Nombe didn't do anything apart from the goal. Yeah, he's a goal scorer, but there's another half. Second half, I didn't even see Nombe. I bet Nombe had about 3 touches second half. It were Cohen Lee when he come on, and Dango second half. They were absolutely bossing it. A special mention to their guy, that Lewis Wing. He were absolutely fantastic. You can tell.
I do rate Lewis Wing. I wanted to sign him that time, but he ended up going to Sheffield Wednesday, obviously. And he didn't say some polite things about Rotherham either, did he, when he left? But yeah, he's a fantastic player. For me, he's a championship player playing in League One, Lewis Wing. I think he's got the ability to be playing in the championship. But there is players like that. I think Benson is one of them that could play in the championship.
Yeah, I agree as well.
If he stayed fit, and that's the problem. You know, when we're looking at who we keep on for next season, I'm with you, Adam. I would keep Yearwood on. I put him down as a 7 today, just behind Dango. I'd give Dango an 8 as man of the match. But I thought Yearwood was fantastic. And I think, but it's just his injury record that worries me. He failed a medical when we originally signed him, and then we agreed to sign him on less money because he'd failed a medical. Amshaw signed him, didn't really play him, didn't really rate him. Every time he came on for Amshaw, I thought he played well. And again, today he's been excellent. I think he'd be a great player in League Two, but I don't want to be taking loads of risks on next season. I just want a team that is fit every week. I know it's not possible that every player is going to be fit, but you look at the promotion team, you look at your Lincolns, they had loads of players out week in, week out like we've had. And all the sort of teams that do well are usually fit, athletic, powerful, quick teams. They're the ones that do well in League One and League Two. And that's what we need to get next season. We need athletes, we need leaders, we need strong players that are going to really put it on the line for us. And I don't think we've got any of them at the back at the minute. I would take somebody like, is it Carl McFadden, whatever he's called? I know he's getting on a bit now, but somebody like that. Yeah, but next season, centre-back, captain, I don't know. Somebody like that, though. Somebody in that sort of role.
We do need a lead. That's the thing, I think, in our team. We've not got, like, Rafty's captain. And then last week, Ndombe were captain. Fair dues to Rafty. I used to love Rafty when he first came, but now you can see when Lee Clark's new implementing this like passing system, and Rafty's still in the old system. He's still oofing balls over to try and get to Ndombe. Rest of the team's passing around. At the middle of the season, I said Rafty 100%, give him a new deal. Now I'm thinking his wages are probably 5-6 grand a week. Get rid. Get a better right back. Denzel Hall, I'd love him to stay. It's obvious he's playing him injured because he's coming off 60 minutes every game. But yes, for me, Rafferty, unfortunately, as much as I've enjoyed him these last 2 years, I think it's time for him to go. Ted Can as well. I think Ted Can, I think Ted Can is going to be a good challenge. He's not going to be number 1 next year. I'd bring someone more experienced in. His kicking is all over the show. It's like literally, if I had 10 pints and I'm trying to kick balls out, that would be the same what Ted Can does. His balls are flying everywhere. His shot stopping, he made an absolute worldly save from in second half from them. His shot stopping is fantastic, but his kicking is just not there. You could see Dan Gosh absolutely screaming at him because Ted's launched one into middle of stand and goes there free at middle of park. He could just passed it out to him. I think Can next season, obviously he's under contract anyway, so he's going to stay, but I think he's not going to be the first choice. I wouldn't have him as first choice. I'd get one more experience, 30, 32-year-old in, decent keeper that knows the League One, League Two level. Sorry, Tom.
No, God, no, you're fine, mate. What I would say is that Victor Johansson was a fantastic shot stopper, but he wasn't great with his feet, and that's maybe why it's hindered him in the Premier League, to be honest with you.
Oh, Tom, you're not doing it again, mate.
No, God, no.
We're not having another one away. We're not having another one out down here.
No, listen, Victor Johansson is the greatest goalkeeper this club has ever had.
Yeah,
Between him
but
and
you can see every
I know.
time Can gets the ball, I'm nervous because you
Yeah.
don't know, especially when it's at his feet. He's not comfortable. You wouldn't give him. That's why RUFC, because he's not comfortable getting it and passing it to someone, either Joe Rafferty at right back, or Baptiste at left back. A special mention for Baptiste. I thought he were class today, and all. He's going to be a good championship defender in a Sheffield United. If he's there next year, I know he's under contract with them. I think
They're
he'll make
looking
it
to
with them.
upload him. I've heard that this loan that we did were with a view to a permanent for Baptiste.
I hope so, because he were.
I think he'd be good in League Two. I would take him.
Oh, it'd be absolutely fantastic. He's an upgrade on Cam Dawson. He's fitter, he's faster, he's a better runner. And don't forget he's playing at left back because we've got no Reece James. He's a lot better centre half. I'd have him and I mean Jules did well today, but I know he's not done well all season. So it looks like if we could get Baptiste and that Adebayoga centre half next year would be decent.
Well, Adebayoga signed for us. He's
he's in next year.
I thought he was really good today. And before I go, gents, I just want to say, massive clear out required. The Nombe question is the big one. Lee, you should ask Adam about that one. The Nombe question is the big one. Keep or sell. But I've got my missus who is coming home any second. So I'm going to get off. But listen, at least it's coming to an end very, very, very shortly. And then we can discuss retained lists. That'll be a good show. That'll be a very good show.
Yeah, super. Cheers, Tom.
Cheers, gents. Have a good one. Thank you.
Worries.
So yeah, Adam, so before you came on, we were discussing Sam Nombe. I mean, he scored 13 goals in a really poor team. He's only started 24 games this season, so he's not had a full season at either. I think we're second bottom for XG in the whole league, so we don't create many chances, but he's 9th in the league for expected goals for him alone. So what are your thoughts on Sam Nombe? So we know we've got the option on him, we will extend that option so we get a fee for him. However, what I've said is, if the fee's below £1 million, I'm not selling him. I'm saying you're going to stay and get us promoted, and we'll do what we did with Ogbenny and let him go for nothing the season after. However, if we get $1 million plus for him, I'd sell him. What's your sort of opinion on that?
Personally, I'd want to keep him in League Two. Obviously, it depends on who's taking over, what sort of money we've got. But I think does Nombe himself want to play in League Two? He'll have offers in League One easy. Bolton, Peterborough, I've heard today are interested. But if we had the chance,
like I said, I posted it out. I'm under the impression the deal's already done with Peterborough. It was done in January. Tony Stewart just didn't sign it off in time. And obviously, I posted that he'd gone. And I believe that deal is done. I think he's going to Peterborough. Like you say, I would keep him in League Two
easily. I mean, he's under another year's deal. The problem is in League Two, we're not going to get £1 million for him. I bet we get 400, 500 quid.
Yeah, so for that sort of money, 400k, I'm not selling him. I'm saying, look,
keep him.
We get that for winning the league. We get that money back for winning the league. And if we've got Sam Nombe in League Two, he's probably one of the better strikers in League One. So in League Two, he's going to be dynamite. It's going to be like a cheat code in League Two.
Oh, easy.
So, I mean, his finish today were fantastic as well. Took it really well. The ball from Dango, like you said.
Oh, that was Premier League level what Dango did.
And like I said, I mean, obviously we're gonna lose Dango. But you know, I'd love to keep him. For me, if we've got investment and we've got the opportunity, I'd pay £1 million for him and make him captain, highest paid player at club, and build my team around him. That's what I'd be doing.
Well, I know that them Swiss guys were here today, so them Swiss guys, one of them's is actually an A licensed coach. He's like a big coach in Switzerland. The other two are businessmen. And in Switzerland, it's difficult to find. You can't find their net worths. So I had a little look last night. I've got the guys' names, but in Switzerland, everything's covered up. So you can't actually see how much they're worth if they've got that much money. I don't know if Phil Smith will be the main man in charge with these guys backing him. But I know one of them's a big coach, and the other ones you just can't. You can't in Switzerland. Yeah, it's all blocks. Like you unless you're one of the top 10 owners in Switzerland, you can't find how much these guys are worth. So it's literally a lottery. Could it come in? They'd be worse. We don't know until it's announced and what they're buying the club for. I know the club's a lot more cheaper now.
I'm again under the impression these people are not buying the club; they're just investing.
Yeah.
Investors. And from what I've seen, that a lot of their investment has been in property.
You're right.
Never to the level of a League One football club either. So it would be the biggest thing that these investors have ever invested in. So that worries me. I'm not going to lie. But we'll see. But the problem with investors is, as we all know, investors expect their pound of flesh. They want their money back. It's not money that, you know, they can just write off. Money, they put the money in, they want this back in return. And that, when the club is run so poorly, that's a very difficult skill to do, is having investors in this football club. Because if I was an investor, because, you know, looking at it before when they were looking to sell it, he doesn't want to sell. And I've told people this 1,000 times before, he doesn't want to sell, he just wants investment. You cannot invest in that football club with the way it is run off the pitch. They miss so many tricks. I mean, even today on the iPlayer, it was absolutely embarrassing. We've got Les Payne. He hasn't got a clue. I don't know if he's gone senile. I don't know what's going on with him. But the guy has not got a clue. He's plugging his own book. Yeah. He doesn't know who the referee is in the charity game, which I find baffling. Yeah. It's run by the club, apparently. Not one QR code to get the game plugged or anything from the club, which brings me to it. Buy your tickets in your top right corner above Adam's head. Little things like that. It is just pathetic. They should be doing that. They should be mentioning it. And there was a comment in it. They were talking about they didn't plug the game really once. They mentioned a little comment of, oh, who's going to be the referee? Oh, I think it's Howard Webb. It might be Howard Webb that's the ref. And I'm thinking, are these guys on this planet or not? This is a big deal to the people of Rotherham. We've actually sponsored a player in this. Obviously, Chris Swales is being sponsored by KB Terrace Talk for the game. But it's a big thing for the players that are coming back. It's a big thing for the hospice. And they've been let down by the football club. If it wasn't for sort of Kev Johnson, who's done a fantastic job trying to push it, and platforms like ours and other platforms that do Rotherham United content pushing it as well, then I don't think anybody would even know about the game. And I think it's disgusting. There's no real push of it. It should have been pushed in schools, in the local schools, everything like that. I know they've done bits and bobs, but it's just not been good enough. It should have been advertised on billboards outside the stadium, around the town, nothing. And the club is so backward in its thinking. And I think that is why we're in the position we're in. We're a million years behind clubs like Reading. If you go to Reading,
easy.
You know, if you go to Reading away, the match day experience there is unbelievable. I went there last season, the away game last season. Didn't go this season, I went the season prior. Yeah, absolutely fantastic match day experience at Reading. They do everything you'd expect a football club to do. Why we don't look at these clubs and think, why can they do it and we can't do it? You know what I mean? It's just so backward thinking. They need people on that board with a bit of ambition, with a bit of drive, with a bit of know-how on people relations and fan relations and engagement, and they would get a lot more people on site. I've noticed a massive drop off in attendances, in interaction on Twitter with even the Rotherham hashtag today. Nobody really posting about the game. Nobody would seem bothered about it anymore. What are your thoughts on that, Adam?
Yeah, I totally agree, mate. Because what I noticed today is Liam Richardson, there were Liam Richardson in charge. There were the other guy. Remember, he came with Liam as a coach at Rotherham. He was assistant manager. Can't remember his name, but he had grey hair. So there were Liam Richardson, a guy with grey hair, and they had a defensive coach, they had a midfielder coach, and they had a striker coach.
There.
Yeah, James Vito were there striking. He were doing before striking drills, making sure strikers were in form and what they were doing. So he had a coach for every position. And I've noticed who's our striker coach. I don't know what it is now, but before it was Dale Tong. Dale Tong's been a right back for all his career. How was he going to say to strikers, well, how to score goals? No wonder we were like, well, can't.
It's
It was
crazy,
ridiculous.
isn't it? It's
And
crazy.
they had loads of coaches for everything. They had a midfield coach who were calling Lewis Wing around, telling him where to go. They had this other guy who had a clipboard out telling him defensive what to set up. They had Liam and his assistant manager. Liam were going to him all the time. And all I saw were Warrington and Richard Wood. That's it. And obviously Clark. I didn't see Peter Levine. Obviously, he keeps it back. All I saw on sideline were Warrington, Richard Wood, and Clark. That's it. We had three. We're so outdated. We're so backdated for a club. It's like everything. It's like club shop. You can't get shirts when they release shirts. About a week's time. I know. Obviously, now we're changing to Hummel, which hopefully will be better than Puma because every single season.
Which again I announced before anybody. Just saying.
Which again, every season you go for your birthday after release date. 2 weeks later, you go up from August or September when season starts to October. The youths have no kitting. There were nothing. The club shop's tiny. We've got nothing. There's all them units around. We can make it bigger. You can get extra things in, more merchandise for club, more money for club.
Is that you know? Well, when I spoke to Phil Smith, he was going on this great thing that we've got this cabin outside with merch on it. We've got empty units. I know one's going to be. There's plans for the other one, but even we haven't got it done yet. We could have put that into one of the empty units rather than
easily.
On the side. Do you know what I mean? It just looks unprofessional in my view.
You even go to some smaller clubs in League One, and they've got bars. They've got bars around club. They've got big superstores. I mean, obviously Wigan and Reading are ex-Premier League clubs, ex-Championship clubs, so they've got the infrastructure. But like I forgot what club it were when I went to away. If it were Accrington or somebody else anyway, but they've got a lovely bar all around bottom where all fans congregate. They had a massive superstore with all stuff in and release stuff. Then they had stuff like last season's kits, they're giving away for like $5 and stuff. And in our club, it's nonchalant. We are so behind on the times and everything. From the top of the club, we've got no director of football. If Steve comes in, that'll be great, but we don't know yet. It's like literally we've got no staff members on coaching staff, merchandising, marketing. There's no marketing, like you say. Although they did actually announce today the official, and I don't think it's Les Payne actually contracted to club, or is he just like outsourced?
I think he must be because obviously the iPlayer is the club's official sort of channel.
But the club announcer did say the next home game is the charity game. You're like on 87 minutes. He said we hope to see everyone there on 3rd or 4th of May, Sunday. He did say when I was leaving, so I left about 90. I think it was 93 minutes. He did say we hope all to see you there, but he didn't say like tickets are a tenner and stuff like that.
That's what I mean. It's still not good enough, is it? It's not good enough.
It is.
Everything about Rotherham United is stuck in the 1900s.
It is exactly right. It's so backwards. It's unreal.
Evening thought Cohen Lee was class when he came on. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
So I don't know why he didn't start. I don't know why he didn't start.
The smallest unit in the stadium is the club shop. We've got 2 units kept empty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally
and
agree.
that's a great point. I mean, why did they think to put the club shop there? The one on the corner would have been better. Bang underneath, underneath where the main cop is, and the side, right on the side, perfect for the shop. You could have got way
That's
more.
the thing is, they get what now they've done. They've got shirts in when we're going down. We're obviously bottom of league. They've got loads of shirts in. Well, what fans want shirts when we're bottom of league? And now they're 60%, then they're 70%. You get a massive stock at the beginning of the season. Obviously, they're 65 quid a shirt. You get them in at the beginning of the season though, and they will sell. They get like, I don't know, they must get like 300 each shirt in, and they've gone. I tried to get one October, tried to get this in October, tried to get red one in October, couldn't get it, no sizes. They were like small or triple XL, that's it. Same with all training kit. There's no size. I mean, I got me a voucher for Christmas. So I went in club shop after Christmas. I think it was a game on 27th, 28th December with this voucher. There were no sizes in nothing. So it's just so backwards. We are like, I mean, I think we were better. I remember when I was young and we used to play at Millmore. We used to have a little club shop in Rotherham Town Centre. I don't remember where Wilco was there, and then Tesco Bridge. We used to have a club shop there. That's all gone down. It's obviously like Rotherham, though. It's all gone downhill, hasn't it? They're all
gone down, mate. Completely agree. It's embarrassing the fact that the 2 Muppets don't know the basics of the charity game is pathetic. Scott Kent says, listening to Clark's post match, it's all been doing this. I'll be doing that. I want this. I want that. Pretty much tell you he's been given the job permanently. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I don't know about
I'm happy
you.
with that. Yeah, a year's deal. See how he gets on. I'm very happy with that. Actually, I think he does speak right. I'll agree with Bez. I've seen passing on the pitch, and that's why I noticed Rafty's not suited to Clark's game. Although Rafty's captain, and probably Clark's kept him in as captain. I think if Denzel
He's a
right winger, decent right winger
too, though, as well. That's another thing you need to think of. Is that style suited to League Two? Gary Bushy, why haven't we got a Miller bar outside the ground with TVs all over showing sport? More money for the club, a few food outlets. Mr. Stewart's supposed to be a businessman, hasn't got a school.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And I believe,
Stuart.
yeah, I believe next season that is going to be turned into a bar at the corner.
Oh, there's so much opportunity out there on match day. It's ridiculous.
But,
Stuart,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So Reading, it's Adam. It's like basically you can go outside and it's all neshed off. So once you're in the stadium, it's all cashed in. Do you know what I mean? So they've got proper fencing up, but there's all different food outlets. They've got massive screens outside playing replays of the game. Sky Sports on there. They've got music. They've got it's like a party atmosphere. Painting for the kids, all that. And that's done at half time. It's like half time entertainment. You're not just having to sit at your team or just sit in a concourse. You can go out into the things. And I know you can at the New York, but all there is a bench to sit on. That's it. There's nothing there. There's no screens outside. You know what I mean? It's nonsense. Really is.
Yeah, I'll tell you something about that. Yes, sir.
Perfect.
I went into Lidl after the game. Obviously, when stadium is back to Lidl, and there were a massive queue. And I was speaking to a couple of Reading fans, and they went, "Your stadium's fantastic, and it's a lovely little stadium. It's probably one at best we've been to. Pitch is fantastic, but you've got nothing outside. Us as away fans, we can't do anything. We've got to go into ground. There's nothing outside like TVs or little fan bar outside.
Not even, on the drive up to New York Way, the drive up. There should be a big advertisement, LED board, game on this week, Rotherham versus. They even had a little board at Millmore that said what to the next game that's on.
Easy.
But, I mean, he's got a bloody lighting company, for Christ's sake. You think he'd be able to get a big LED board? Which brings me on to, I went to the game against Blackpool at home. The lighting outside the stadium's horrendous. Couldn't even see where I was going. Ridiculous. So yeah, we're millions of miles behind, and there's so much work needs to be done, and that's why I believe we need a full takeover. We need somebody that's got a bit of nous about and a bit of knowledge of how to run a football club rather than a lighting company, which is also struggling at the moment as well with the financial times. So not looking good for Tony Stewart. He's getting to the age where he's probably just best cashing out. That's my honest opinion. He's made, you know, I mean, he's made his money because obviously he's now sleepwalking, unfortunately, and in business you get swallowed up sleepwalking, and that's what's going to happen to him, and it worries me. Rachel, evening lads. Not caught the game as I've been working. How was it? Did the players do a parade at the end? Did anyone?
They did do a parade at the end, but I didn't stay for it. It's not worth it. I don't think many stayed for it. I bet there were about 100 fans at the end. None at Reading's fans stayed for their parade either. It's funny though, Reading, they were chanting they don't want Liam Richardson next season.
No, I told you that. I said that. Spoke to quite a few Reading fans, and they don't like his style of play. I actually was surprised he was still manager against us, because there were rumours that he were due to be sacked. But yeah, I don't know. The three,
they were. You're right, Lewis.
Investors were there today. Yeah, there was. So obviously we may get to hear something more about that. But the problem is, with investors, they do want their pound of flesh. Anyone heard what Ron Hull is doing with Millmore? Now they've acquired it with Boovy's business. Yes. So I can't actually say, but I did have a discussion with Phil Smith and mentioned something regards that, and there is something in the pipeline. So watch this space is what I would say with Millmore. So yeah. Thank you for everybody that's watched. The numbers not as high as they normally have been tonight. I think that's due to
everyone's out at beer gardens, aren't they?
Yeah, totally agree. And the fact that we've been up to shit this season probably suggests it. Still over 100 people watching us, but obviously we were getting some real high numbers at some points of the season. But obviously, I guess that the season that we've had, it's been a real
stadium announced. It didn't announce the attendance again either. Wasn't announced. I stayed up until 93 minutes, didn't hear a word. Man at match, all I heard was Sam Nombe, which I'd have give it Dango. But yeah, the positives next year. Cohen Lee, what a find Lee Clark's found it. I think Lee Clark should be giving job. That Cohen Lee, when he come on, he's left-footed, right-footed.
Yeah, that's what I said to you. That's what I said after the first time I saw him. How on earth has this boy been in our academy, and we've had all that injuries in that midfield, and Matt Amshaw didn't even have him on the bench in the league? And he's been here a couple of weeks, and he said the first day he walked in the state, he had a practice game against the first team. He said, and he tore him apart, and then he put him straight into the squad. So that, for me, I don't think we see Cohen Lee playing for Rotherham this season under Matt Amshaw. I don't think he would have. I think he only played Douglas because he had nobody else. As soon as he made one mistake, he got shut of Douglas out of the team.
To be honest, mate, I think if Clark's in next year, I don't think Douglas will see. I think he'll be going out on loan again. I think Harrison Duncan's much better than Douglas.
Yeah.
That young lad, he were on bench again. You could see he's 17 years old. He's built like an absolute unit. For me, his pace, what I've seen, his pace is better than Douglas. I mean, you have Douglas on bench just to come on, but I'd say if we can get Baptiste, I don't think we can. I'd have Douglas.
There today?
I don't. I've asked the question to a mate who sees. I've not seen him. It's like you can't see when you sat down where I am. You can't see Tony Stewart or his brigade, Paul Douglas. McLaren's normally sat with Tony Paul and Richard Stewart, Paul Douglas. I didn't see him today, but I've asked the question to see.
That sounds like Millmore being a training facility.
It'd be good. It'd be good.
I've not said anything, but I did post a video of what a Rotherham United academy would look like.
Yeah, oh, that was fantastic. That imagine that though. It's perfect position. There is the land there. Ronald's got all the land there because there's car parks all behind. It could be an absolute fantastic. You could get another pitch. They could develop another pitch behind Old Millmore. Easy there for academy and stuff.
Scott Kent says he's got a picture of the split Swiss blokes. Yeah, someone sent one on Twitter. I think he's got a ponytail, Annie, the guy. He's got a man bun or something, dark-haired guy, one of them. Man bun. Turning into Andy Carroll. So thank you for everybody for tuning in again. Thankfully, there is no more home games left. We've still got one game. Is it one game left we've got?
Yeah, Wickham away next Saturday.
So that's the last time that we will be doing any after-match reactions because the season will be over. We are going to be doing lots of World Cup content as well, so look out for that. And we will be doing a debrief at the end of the season on the players who we want to keep for next season and all of that sort of stuff. And we will break down where it all went wrong. Big boy will be discussed again. But thank you for tuning in. Please like and share and subscribe. Thank you, Adam, for joining us again, mate. Always a legend, mate. And
don't forget, buy your tickets. Get your tickets.
Buy your tickets. We will be at the game. We've sponsored Chris Wales. So we will have a representative at the game that will be interviewing Chris Wales and will be at the game. He'll interview fans as well. So if you want to speak to him, call me a twat or whatever you want to do. If you don't like me, that's absolutely fine. I'm used to that now. But yeah, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Up the Millers.
Up the Millers.